and welcome to Doctor Who, Series 1, Episode 5, World War III, where I'm joined again this week by my brother Caden.
Hello.
And yes, if you don't know how this goes, because we gotta do this I need to get this on like a button that just, it's written on the screen, but if you don't know what we're doing, we're basically recording a audio commentary track live. For legal reasons, I can't just stream an episode of Doctor Who, or in fact the audio. So what we've got to do is you bring your own video, bring your own audio. That's unfortunate, because with Doctor Who specifically, there are two different versions of the series for reasons that I don't want to. It's complicated, just trust me. If you start looking into it, it'll never leave you. My mind wanted to say, for some reason, it's like herpes, but I don't know why. I don't know. It's kind of true, I guess. But, no, yes, anyway, we will be watching the US broadcast because that's what I have the Blu-rays of, which is 4% slower. Yes, slower than the UK version. If you're watching live. If you're watching this as a video, the description will tell you which one it is. There'll be a link to the other once I actually get them up. I'll probably do them at batches, like one at the end of the season. I'll upload the season or something like that. But anyway, yes, God knows what streaming services use. If you know, tell us. It'll probably change. Disney doesn't have them yet, so it doesn't matter. Anyways, Caden, you weren't here last week, so what did you think of fan favorite Slovene? That's not true.
It was.
I couldn't think of a better joke.
They struck a fine balance of menacing and completely unable to be taken seriously.
Fart humor.
yeah, which was a very interesting dynamic.
Is that totally genuine reaction then? Not sarcastic.
I mean,
I'm also curious.
Yeah. There were certain, I don't know, like, because the concept of, like, they're taking over the world and they have this big grand plan to get all the smart aliens in one room, or smart alien experts in one room. But then the fart humor throughout 3/4 of it.
I kind of agree. I think the fart humor definitely kind of goes on a bit long in some scenes where it's clearly just so, like, the little kids will laugh.
Yeah.
But this episode in particular, like, they pose a real genuine threat, and now that their plan's kind of just about starting, we left the Doctor in a real painful position for the last week. Like, there's genuinely some pretty dark and, like, harrowing scenes and things that we'll get into, but it's like, where you're kind of like watching the world almost end. Spoilers, the world doesn't end in this episode, I know. Apologies about that. But yeah, I think just like some minor tweaks, and they work really well. Like, they are a good balance, because a lot of Doctor Who villains are genuinely, like, kind of menacing and threatening, but also, what'd you say, like, ridiculous or comical, whimsical?
Yeah, hard to take them seriously.
They work really well in the spin-off Sarah Jane Adventures, which is a kid's show. It's fantastic. Like, it's really good, but because that's explicitly a kid's show, I think they tone down the fart humor as well, so it's like it doesn't overstay its welcome. But they also just work better because inherently the kid show's a little bit lighter, and also they've got a child Slovene, which was amazing. The reveal, not knowing they're in it. It might be less impressive, but when that, like, they, like, unzip the skin or whatever, and then there's a baby Slovene, I didn't realize the world needed baby Slovene, but by God, the world did.
The unzipping of skin too is also just, like, off-putting as a concept.
I should hide the time bar. Because I'm sharing my screen to you. Not that. Sarah Jane Adventures Baby Slovene. Here we go. You can see this. Look at that thing.
I'm seeing blackness.
Look at that. Oh, you're... Hang on.
I'll look it up.
Oh, yeah. Well, let me share the actual window rather than the screen. I don't like how Discord defaults to sharing applications. There we go. Look at this little baby Slovene
is striking.
The world, look at that thing. The world needed baby Slovenians, and you didn't know. You didn't know until you see it. There we
I
go.
also do quite. I like their design. It's like so uncanny and weird. I think you had it right that it overstayed its welcome. This bit of they
It's really
fart a
good.
lot.
Here's a fact. We might look out. I've noticed. How long are we into the stream? Probably late night. Yeah. The Slovene also have genitals.
Oh,
Yeah, you can see they don't have dicks, but they do have the other bits in some scenes. Someone pointed this out. I saw on Reddit with like a screenshot of them. I went, no, that's no, that is. Yeah,
I don't know how to feel.
I don't know if that's like it has to be like accidental. Is like some weird wrinkle in the fabric, but they do that's weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're great. They're a great effect. I'm a lot more positive about the Celine than most people.
I definitely get. I think why people would be put off, and I'm sort of put off. I think it was a missed opportunity.
I'm sorry, but it's dumb as hell. But last episode, just you know, would you prefer silent but deadly? Yeah. And then the doctor just looks at him like, what?
Yeah, it's
like, a chef's kiss. This is what I want from Doctor Who.
I wish, like, I think that they didn't pick a side, whether they wanted to be serious or goofy. Like, because they rode the line, it's weird. But if they just picked one, it would have worked.
Well, even if they just toned down the silly a little bit, because that's kind of, I guess you have two halves, and like the second half, they're much more serious, and the first half, they're much more comedy. But they fit the like narrative and tone a lot better in their appearances in the spin-off. And I don't think it's just because it's the kid show. I think it's because they picked. It's like, they're the villain, they're menacing, but they're also just comedic. It's like, it's kid show. It's like the world's in danger at Paw Patrol level. It's like, it's that kind of vibe. But we've rambled enough, so let's begin. On the Celine episode. Let's see. I think we're all set up. I'm in the right window. What we're gonna do is a countdown: 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. And then we're all gonna hit play on go. So where's my little timer? There it is. 5, 4, 3. Okay, no, cancel, because I realized as I was saying that. Important bit of news, real quick. There almost certainly will not be a Doctor Who review next week because of St. Patrick's Day. The in-laws are doing something. And there's also one of the Star Treks of Doctor Who's will probably be canceled for Easter, but I don't know which yet. There we go. And Caden, I'll let you know what we're doing. I'm pretty sure I can't do the stream, or I'm just not going to because of times.
Okay.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Yeah, the Celine, I mean, really, the Celine first parter just exists for the silent but deadly joke. And then this is the real strength of the two-parter, I think. This episode actually had a lot of difficulties in filming, because, like, I think it was the first one they did, and they just hadn't planned enough for the costumes and, like, where the CGI would be, so it was pretty rough, apparently.
I liked the sequence of the start of the first episode.
You're real quiet. Hang on.
Stuff.
Can you
I can turn me up. How's this? How do I sound?
Oh, good. That's much better.
Any better? Okay.
Did we
I liked in the sequence of the ship crashing in the first episode, and it hitting the tower and that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
It was nice. It had the charm of the ship just was so out of place, but then the practical effect of breaking probably some miniature tower that they did. I enjoyed it. It was cool.
There's
Hooked me in.
A famous quote from the third Doctor, the actor, John Pertwee. I think it's a paraphrase, the one I've heard, but it's like the thing about Doctor Who is that it's Yetis were one of the popular villains at the time. It's like it's much scarier to like see a Yeti on your toilet and tooting back. Like that's kind of the scariness, is bringing the supernatural and the alien into the real world.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And we talked over the classic easy resolution to all the cliffhangers. Just take your badge off. If we're ever like short for time, or maybe as a special, I should take you through some of the best dumb cliffhangers and like just have you react to them.
We missed our opportunity to talk about in the last episode Rose calling the doctor gay, which I had forgotten about until I was watching it.
Yeah, I don't forget about that.
I don't remember what he was saying. Oh, because when he got slapped, he was like, "It hurt my face."
Oh yeah,
she went, "Oh, you're so gay." I was like, "Oh, I forgot about that."
Yeah. I talked about it last time, but I don't mind that Rose said it because like she's a person of 2005.
Mm-hmm.
I mind that the doctor didn't say anything about it, you know?
900-year-old.
Yeah. That would have been a great moment, especially for the showrunner being gay, to include a little bit of like, hey, you know. But you know. I said before though, that's like the worst thing that's actually in the show for this decade, and I'll take that. That's a win. Like for 2000, that's a win. And everyone just naps for this episode. Or are they all dead? Oh, we had to watch. Wait, let me know if they're dead. Yes. I'll let this line.
That's funny.
Last episode they name dropped some celebrity, I think like Patrick Moore. So canonically, I guess Patrick Moore is now dead in the Doctor Who universe. Oh yeah, here's a bit I don't like too much about this episode. It's clever, but it's just a little too long of like, everyone stand there and don't shoot him. This isn't the great display in the opening 5 minutes.
I wasn't able to get out of my head when I was watching the first episode of this two-parter that the lady that Rose is with now sort of looks like Donna. Am I crazy in this?
Let me see.
Or am I onto something?
I don't think so, but let me see her.
I looked it up. I pulled it up on my other monitor here.
It's not Donna.
It's not. But like cousin, you know?
Hang on, I'm gonna turn subtitles on real quick. Oh, no, I'm not. Man, where's Unit when you need it? These police they're not useful at all. I bet that's why Unit's not in the episode. You'll meet Unit. You know, I haven't really noticed before, but I have to praise this actor for just how they're playing and how they're delivering the lines.
They feel like aliens.
It's so gloriously just kind of strange.
Yeah.
It's wonderful. I like camp Doctor Who. I like serious Doctor Who, but I also like camp.
Mm-hmm. I was wondering when I was also watching the first episode of this two-parter, what... I mean, I think I kind of understand it, but they missed their return by a whole year. So Rose has been missing and such.
Yes.
But they could have just gone back in the TARDIS and then...
No.
No?
It's actually a later episode's going to show this, but you can't cross your own time stream. Like, that's a paradox, you know?
Okay.
They can't show up, realize she's missing, like meet Jackie, then go back in time and change it, because then Jackie wouldn't have reacted like that. But like, it's very important to establish that early on. It's like 2 or 3 episodes from now that they do that.
Because it wasn't mentioned, yeah. Makes sense.
They probably should have had a line that maybe, like, they can't go back, but, I don't know. I mean,
maybe a little, like
if you
general
haven't
vibe.
seen Donna in a good while, maybe she could be like an older Donna, but she doesn't look like Donna.
That's what it felt like, but it's not 1-to-1.
I don't think it's like Donna at all. But if you haven't seen Donna in a good 10 years, maybe.
That's about where I'm coming from.
She's got red hair, you know? That's about it. And I want to see, can you talk a bit?
I can. I like
okay, good.
The CG Slovenes. When they're moving in the prosthetics, they're clearly moving in giant prosthetics. But when they make them digital dummies, they're like moving on their like 4s here and there and jumping around.
I'm actually the opposite. I think the prosthetics work really well, but the CGI is a little too fake. Like, you know, I get what you say about the motion, but yeah. Lots of planets have a north. Doctor being called out for his racism.
I like their big claws too.
Yeah, they're great. Was it? Yeah, they do a little bit too much in this episode of, like, the Doctor sitting around explaining how he's going to escape as the villains just don't attack. The first result for Downing Street Mr. Chicken is the TARDIS wiki page for this episode. That's not... That's not promising. Wait, is he a real guy? Mr. Chicken has a LinkedIn page. The last private resident of number 12 Downing Street. Wow, hang on.
Oh.
I'm gonna have to look this guy up afterwards. Wait, I like this bit. So... the Air Force, who would have noticed the spaceship launched. Scotland by the North Sea. I love that reaction because the audience, you can see it just, if you're paying attention, you can learn how they launched the spaceship without anyone noticing. It's a lovely little touch. I think as a kid, I never realized that, so it was so cool as an adult. I also love that the news has given up. The aliens have invaded, and they're like, I don't even know what's happening. This address, I don't think it's enough credit, that scene. I'm gonna let it play when it happens, but I don't think it gets enough credit, and it really elevates this whole two-parter.
There's a hanger for it. It's funny.
Yep. Don't you? I've got a wardrobe in the basement here for all my skin. You know, separate from the other clothes.
I like Mickey's character.
Yeah. I'd have to see more of him. I really don't remember much. I just remember most their relationship, like Rose and Mickey, isn't great. But he's a good character, like in terms of just being in the show. You know?
Yeah, I think it's so funny how he wants to like. Has this such fighting attitude, like, you know, oh, the doctor's such a bad guy, I gotta stop him. But like, what's he gonna do? He's not gonna do anything.
And well, no, he's kind of like I'm gonna stop him. He's like, I don't know how I'm gonna do that, but I'm gonna.
I love it because he stands no chance to do anything to anyone.
For those at home, remember, we're not gonna talk about any of the actors until after they leave the show because we're gonna enjoy the show. Some of these actors might not be the best people. But I'll tell you after they leave. Another great little bit in this scene, this episode. And there's one of my big problems with Rose. Is that right there? She's very... I mean, it's literally in the show, her arc, that she's very like nonchalant about the death and danger around her, and it's it's mostly 10th Doctor stuff. She's pretty good in season 1. I always wondered if that's actually true. But go on.
Being such a secure room, I would imagine a secure secret exit.
Well, that means you could get in, you know?
Well, you made it
Like, where would you
secret,
go?
you know?
You're in
Secret.
Downing Street, though. Where would you go that's safer?
Well, see, that's the thing, precisely. If everyone thinks that's the safest location, they would think you're there. So a secret entrance would take you who knows where. They would never expect.
It is London. You can't just have, like, an underground bunker, because there's probably a bunch of artifacts and stuff underneath London, you know?
Maybe it's
And
a
the subway,
good idea,
like,
then I'm not the architect.
I mean, this isn't America, where we want the government to survive even if the universe ends. Like, you know, they're only reasonably secure over in the UK. Is that a TARDIS drawing? Who drew that? Does Mickey have a child's drawing of a TARDIS on his wall? Is he just that bad? He's got two.
There's another one.
I like that it's a bad drawing.
Really bad. There's nothing else there either.
Like, he couldn't find any pictures of just old police boxes either.
He drew it.
Unit! They're in the classics.
Watching the walls now.
It's very space-y.
I like the storytelling of it. He's gone into all this research in the last year.
Let's check after this. Rose visits Mickey, and Mickey visits Rose other way around. At the pilot, I bet it's not as spacey in his room, and I want to check.
Yeah.
Oops. Even his curtains, like... I can promise it. I've seen the show.
iRobot.
Is that fan-made UFOs a folder? I love this. It's 2 UFO folders. I love this. All his stolen road signs. I love Jackie. Not Mickey Tomb, Mickey Room. I googled Doctor Who Mickey Room, and a lot of the results are either Mickey Mouse child's rooms or Mickey Mouse as the Doctor.
Funny.
Stupid Disney deal, ruining my search results.
He's on the phone.
Yeah, you're right. He's like, I'm gonna take care of this. I don't know how. By the way, just for clout, extracts a Chlorocophallopatorius. I love Russell T Davis's planets names. Here we go. Because he can make a name like Raxacorical Fallopatorius, and it's been like 20 years and I'll never forget it. Like, no one else in this show has done planet names like Russell T Davis. You got like Clom, the sister planet. You got so many good ones. Like, it's such a good name. Later on, Rose is going to struggle to pronounce it, and she'll finally get it right. And it's actually stretches believability for me. Like, that's how good of a name it is. To be fair, my kitchen didn't have vinegar until like a week ago. And that's because I want to make a sauce. Ooh, that's more disgusting than I remember. It's much less disgusting in the spin-off, where that happens like every other season. It's horrible, that green ramen. The doctor didn't like the wine. I was wondering that. I'm like, most doctors don't drink. That was brilliant.
So
is this the broadcast?
Does the skin suit protect them from vinegar if they're wearing someone?
Don't think about it.
Okay.
I don't think it comes up, but here's the speech I like. Yeah, I really like. There's a few scenes like that in this era where it's just really kind of chilling to watch. You know, a world leader announce the end of the world, an alien invasion, and it's a really good scene. God, every time he says lines like that, it just hits me. Wow, we're real fast. God, he's furious. It's a real shame how much those comments about the population undercut 10 out of 10 scenes like that, where every time you just get hit, like, 5?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, I remember that, like...
Yeah, they find their footing
with this second part.
bringing the stakes and stuff.
The second part is so good. And everyone only talks about the fart scenes that are too long, but I think we need to talk more about this second half. I don't care what's going on. I would not let someone sit on my sofa if they had alien guts on them. I'd put a towel out. I'll admit, as much as I like these scenes, as sort of like the drama, it is kind of out of place in the Christmas special, where it's like a third of the planet's about to jump off the roof. It's like, Merry Christmas, everybody. I much prefer goblins singing about eating babies. Wonder if Skittles paid for... No, because the S's were down. I love that. They wanted Skittles on the desk, but they had to turn all of them upside down. Oh, I forgot. Good old Harriet Jones. I forgot she stepped in. That's probably the best. That's probably the best. God, I love the lines this guy gives. That's the best example of the... I could either save the world and sacrifice one person, or doom everybody, including that one person, scenes I've seen. Because they never hit so much with me, it's like, well, yeah, to do it. Mm-hmm. But,
I like that.
That's pretty good, CGI.
Actualization of the trust developing.
And the doctor, like... He still sees himself as, like, the horrible things he did in the war for the past, like, God knows how long. He hasn't had a companion in so long. The last one he had, if we kind of brush off the 8th Doctor, who wasn't really in a lot of TV, that didn't end too well. And it's, like, I guess it's kind of the first sign that someone thinks he's a good person, or, like, someone has so much faith in him.
There's another TARDIS on the monitor.
Yeah.
And I think I saw one over.
I'm adoring this. I really hope when we go back, it is not spacey. It's definitely not gonna have TARDISes and stuff, but I hope,
Yeah.
even though how, like, nightmare that would have been, it's just totally different. Maybe we didn't see his bedroom, but I'm gonna check. Mickey's a terrorist now. Damn Cornwall launching missiles at London. Look, everyone in this room is useful. Everyone in this room used their unique skills and perspectives to get themselves out of this situation. Brilliant. It's so refreshing. By the way, you'll learn to love Trinity Wells, the American news lady. And you won't realize it, but you'll learn to love her. That's a 4th TARDIS on his computer, by the way. Like, he needed so many different pictures, but all of them is equally... Do you think he tried to do a new one, like, a bunch of different times, but it just wasn't getting any better?
Yeah, he was trying to learn.
I love that headcanon from Mickey. Great scene again. This one's a good episode. I'm saying it. This is a really good episode. The first part is the weak one, but this thing is really good. Someone make an edit where the missile hits one of those buildings in the foreground and it just blows up. Famous last words, Hannibal. When they rebuild Downing Street, they should build the whole thing out of that. Also the fire alarm, which is pulling its weight.
I love how many times she pulls out the name card.
Oh, it's her thing.
I love it so much.
Even the aliens at one point are like, yes, we know who you are. Pretty sure that's better than what UK actually got for 3 terms in the early 2000s, but I don't know too much about it. And God knows what's going on now. They've probably had 3 prime ministers since we started the stream.
He missed his chance to tell her that she won't be anything.
Before we started, I was telling Kaden about Kill the Moon. For those at home, but that's what that joke was. Wow. I'm gonna bring that up every time he meets someone famous. I think it was Mickey. She is gonna be knighted, though, a little bit.
That's a good question.
Yeah, I don't... You see him eat sometime. I can think of 11 and 12. Don't think 9 eats. They go out for chips. You don't see it, but they talk about it. Yeah.
What is, I mean, Time Lord cuisine ought to be different.
Ooh, I don't think we know. I'm trying to rack my brain. I've listened to like a series about Gallifrey, but I can't think of a single Time Lord food. There's a food machine in the first TARDIS. It's a landline, though. Brilliant. No, I love it. No notes. At the start of the Two Doctors, the Time Lord is seen fishing for one of his favorite snacks, Gumblejack. Consume pill-shaped food on solid strips called Promazari bars. Bananas. 9 likes bananas. That's true. No, that's true. The TARDIS made little food blocks that tasted like whatever you wanted. That's true. So I think they eat like space food, you know, magic food pills and whatnot. God, she's not a good daughter. She's like basically as old as you now, isn't she? Or are you older than Rose now? You better say no. Rose is 19.
Oh, I'll be there in a matter of months.
Good, you're still younger than Rose.
Not for long.
I don't know if I could take that. The only companion you're allowed to be older than is Adric, who's a child. And maybe Susan. But, like, that's it. You're not allowed...
Half a year.
You're not allowed to be older than Rose.
Now he's scrubbing it off? That's funny.
Yeah, this one was an obvious Bad Wolf reference. He didn't need me to point it out. I think they're more obvious from here on out. Well, the next one's kind of subtle, I think. I mean, to be fair, it was a hoax. It's kind of funny, though, because after this episode, humanity starts kind of, like, remembering the aliens. Honestly, same, Mickey. He's so, like, half-hearted. But, you know, they've kind of made up a bit. There's a bit of respect there now. That's nice. I also like to think, you know, that CD that wipes the Doctor from the internet. I always have thought that's like an in-universe reason for why you can't find any of the events in the show on the internet. That's always what I like to imagine.
Yeah.
This bothered me a lot though. Like, it really hurts Rose as a person. She's right. They could literally be back in 10 seconds. They're just not. And it's not like she forgot she said that. Well, maybe she did, to be fair, right? But, like, at one point, she goes, hey, doctor, can we go back home? I need to, like, do something. And he's just like, okay, how about, like, I don't know, 2 weeks after we left? Does that sound good? You know, it's like... You could say maybe he's just a bad pilot, but he doesn't make it. And as I've said a lot of times, I'll point out, he never gets it seriously wrong when it matters after, like, last episode. Like, I get the emotional weight, but Rose is a bit of a dick.
Yeah.
And I don't know how long it is, but it is like, you know, time has passed. It's not like a stupid amount of time, but... Okay, next episode, you'll never guess. There's a surprise villain, so I'm not gonna show you the next time on, because that's a spoiler. Next week we're gonna be covering Dalek, though. I hope everyone enjoys it. So yeah, Caden... There's a big villain in this one. Again, I'm not gonna spoil it. You kind of learn a lot about the time more. But it should be interesting to see Caden's first reaction in Dalek to the unknown mystery villain.
Yeah, who knows?
Yeah, the alternate title for this episode, of course, was The Crushing Inevitability of the Daleks. There's a trope, Caden, like basically every Dalek episode, but like 3 of them are called X of the Daleks. And in every single one, including this next one, the Daleks are touted as like a surprise reveal. And the classics, it's usually at the end of the first part. It's like, whoa, the Daleks, shock value. And so there's the running joke of The Crushing Inevitability of the Daleks is like the name of an episode. There's 3 episodes: Resolution of the Daleks, Resolution, and like some other R word. What are they? God. Doctor Who. It's Revolution of the Daleks, Resolution of the Daleks, and Resurrection of the Daleks. That's right. All totally distinct episodes, and I can never remember which is which in the classics. But, I'll let people see this. Whoops, a little blurry. She visits Mickey at some point to use... It's probably this, to use the phone. But I don't know if we... Oh, there we go. Yeah, no. Here it is. Come on.
Yeah.
His room. It makes sense that it's sparse. Actually, can I, like, I'm going to change it for the stream. I'm going to remove the blur. Well, let me maximize it first. Properties. Filters. There we go. Let's remove the blur. And in fact, I'll hide my instructions so you can just see it. It's much more bare, because of course they have to put up all of the shows, but he's got, like, mostly naked women. He's got the football. It's very sparse, kind of dirty, but I love that it's just, he goes all out and spacey about the Doctor. There's
missing his binders.
Maybe these, yeah, no binders. When you're looking, it is kind of conspicuously empty. But he's got like a sticker there. He still has the curtains, but I love how it's just so spacey. Oh, my computer does not like what I'm doing here. Okay, that's good. That's fun. Let me turn the blur on before I forget for next stream. That's brilliant. I love those little world buildings. Russell T Davies, especially in season 1, was so good at world building. Coming up, in season 2. Idiot's Lantern, right there. there's like a Magpie Electronics that the villain is using. And then in future episodes, like all throughout the timeline, you'll see little stickers that are like made in Magpie Electronics or something, even in the future. Because in the episode, the guy made like I think he made a bunch of money selling color TVs. And so like his business just succeeded. As I said, the people actually learn about, they learn about aliens. And so by the time he leaves, like, people are just aware that aliens exist and they invade, and there are companions who are like, like when the Daleks invaded. Like, I remember that. Yeah, it's a plot point. Remember in like the Waters of Mars, that's a big famous one, where the captain of the ladies on Mars is like, what inspired you to go to Mars? And she's like, when my mother always, or like I think I was a kid, or like my mother was a kid when the Daleks invaded, and she remembers seeing a Dalek like through her window that didn't kill her. And that inspired me to go to space. And it's like so cool that the like one of the actual Dalek invasions, of course, though the mystery villain, you don't know about the Daleks yet.
Yeah.
But like that inspires, that has effects, you know. And then Stephen Moffat comes in and is like, screw that, and it's the nuke button. We'll get to Stephen Moffat's universe reset. Stephen Moffat hated it so much, he wrote a plot line where cracks in the universe were just eating bits of history, so they never happened. So they just ate the like invasions from the Russell T Davies era, so no one remembers them, except the military does. So I guess they did still happen. And then he decides that wasn't enough, so he writes a plot line where the entire universe has to be reset, like atom by atom, except it doesn't have the Doctor. So none of the like invasions or anything happened, and then like the Doctor gets, you know, he comes back, of course, because of like magic, but it's like, well, except the military still has records of all those times, and there's that episode that's like an alternate history where the Doctor dies and we see the world basically end, and all the villains still know who the Doctor are. So like, what's the universe didn't really seem to reset here, even though you wrote that down, Moffat. It's right. Then later on, he actually has the Doctor actively go out and like remove himself from the memories of like the whole universe. There's a whole episode. It's the one you left on. That's at the end, the Daleks forget who the Doctor is. Like, he's just wiped from their collective memories and they don't know who the Doctor is. The next time you see the Daleks, and this happens for the Cybermen too, they're able to just fill in who the Doctor is by looking at the gaps in their memory. Where they're like, there's this one time we were stopped. We don't know who. There's like 1,000 of these times. It must be this Doctor feller.
It's a high-effort story restructure.
Well, he like constantly... Because there is an argument that the Doctor needed to be forgotten. He was a little too big. He was becoming like a mythical hero. That's true. But he kind of because I said before, in the classics, he's just like some guy, you know, like the people might know who the Time Lords are, but like no one really knows who the Doctor is, unless it's like the Time Lords or people who've met him before. Yeah. But Stephen Moffat keeps writing stories where like people forget who the Doctor is, only to immediately undo it or be like, actually, I like having UNIT. I like that there's like an organization that knows who the Doctor is. Let's keep that. It's, you know, it's kind of funny. I like Moffat's era. I definitely don't hate Moffat. A lot of people really hate everything about him. I agree with and see a lot of the complaints people have of the Moffat era, having heard them, but I still like it overall. Definitely through 11 at least. Well, definitely most of it. Season 7's a hiss. I was about to say, at least through Amy and Rory, then I'm like, Asylum of the Daleks is rough. And then there's that Chibnall story that's not great. It's not bad. And oh god, yeah, I've remembered the Statue of Liberty thing. Ooh, that's... Don't worry about... I want you to experience some things. Just... We're in territory you haven't watched, but there's a little factoid about the Statue of Liberty you might not know. That it's a dumb like how, you know, I was telling you the moon's an egg. That's actually like that. I think that's a little less ridiculous than the thing about the Statue of Liberty.
That'll be an interesting episode.
Yeah, but the both, it's not bad. There's just a tendency for one of the villains that's really good to keep making them come back, and every time they just get a little bit worse. Every time they're just you really should have stopped there, Steven.
Yeah.
Unlike, of course, the mystery villain from the next episode, Dalek.
Of course. Yeah.
We'll call it a Metaltron, because that's what they call it in the episode, because you're not supposed to know what it is.
I wonder.
Dalek, though, is when people talk about when Doctor Who came back, right, or watching it for the first time, they usually say, they started off, it was pretty good, there were pros and cons, like it was definitely watchable, maybe even enjoyable, but they weren't necessarily sold. Or, like, they weren't sure, is this really Doctor Who? Because, like, the formats changed so much. In the classics, it was usually 4 half-hour parts. The stories were longer. The Doctor's clearly changed. Like, he's dealing with this mysterious time war. Dalek is for probably, like, 80-90% of people where the show went, okay, no, this is good. Like, this is the episode where they kind of think it landed. And, of course, Father's Day... Mwah. Stephen Moffat, 2-parter under Davis. Mwah. Boomtown, great. The long game's all right. Let's be honest. This is kind of a weak one this season. It's fine. But Dalek is where, did you know they almost, maybe I should say this for the next stream, but they almost didn't get the rights to the Daleks for New Doctor Who. No, because the way Doctor Who, I don't think it's like this now, but back in the classics, the way the copyright worked is unless it was something like the Doctor or the TARDIS that like the BBC made for the show, the writer of the individual story owns the rights to the story. They sell the right for it to be broadcast that one time, but then they own it. So like the first story you can't really watch anywhere, because the son of the guy who wrote it, who now owns the rights, is a dick. That's just enough said. They made the Doctor a woman and then black, and that's just an unforgivable sin. But the guy who made the Daleks owns the rights to the Daleks. The BBC doesn't own them. And when they actually were asked, like, hey, are the Daleks going to come back? The people in charge of the show, they were like, of course they're coming back. It's Doctor Who. And they got a bit of a call from the estate, like, because even the people in charge didn't realize that the BBC didn't own the Daleks. Like, the BBC knew, but not the showrunners. So there was a backup plan. I don't know if you remember, they're called the Toclafane, who are like the little spear people at the end of one of the seasons. They get reused. That here we go. They're little just like spheres. Don't worry about that don't worry about that frame of like old David Tennant. They're these little spear people. We're gonna be the people who the Time Lords fought in the Time War. But thankfully, like, because they were worried, I think, that if the show didn't do well, it would ruin the Daleks, like their image, who were still huge, even though the show hadn't been aired for like 15, 20 years, other than the one movie where the Daleks didn't appear. They just had stupid voices. In fact, no, I'm going to show you, if you've never heard the movie Daleks.
I haven't. I couldn't imagine Doctor Who, no Daleks, though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, we're still muted. Hang on. Here's the Dalek voices right here. What do you think?
No, it's different.
It's what happens when you don't bother looking up what they sound like. True. That's actually, I'm told, they paid, like, a stupid amount of money for the rights to the Daleks. That's their only appearance. That's all they do. That's all they do. They get name-checked at the start. Then they say, like, exterminate, and that's it. You don't even see them. But yeah, no, thankfully they were able to argue, get the rights for the Daleks, but, like, it would have been the same story, just with a different villain, right? But even then, I just can't imagine the Time War not being the Daleks.
Yeah.
It even builds off some classic stuff. Like, Dalek's such a... I can't imagine Dalek, the episode, is anything other than the Dalek. Or at the very least, like a major villain from the classics.
Yeah.
Because it's just so core to... The second ever story of Doctor Who is the Daleks. They start in the 60s to pick up the companions. They travel to caveman times. That's story 1. Then they go meet the Daleks. Like, they're... I can't imagine the Time War without the Daleks. Like, presumably, you know, the show would have done well and they would have got the Daleks eventually.
Yeah, would have been insane.
But there's a theory that Russell T Davies is probably thankfully going to prove wrong, that the BBC is contractually obliged to include the Daleks at least once it's either a year or a season, assuming you count the specials as part of a season. Because for every single one, actually, of these seasons, not the 60th anniversary specials, the Daleks appear. At least once, with varying levels of success. I'm actually thinking, does the 60th prove this false then? Maybe that's a special thing. Like, it's never been confirmed, but it was a theory, because it is kind of interesting. Even Series 11, which was a new showrunner, and it's a season that very explicitly and intentionally does not have any returning villains. They're all new villains, all of which are bad, but they're all new villains. But
the Daleks?
The New Year's special, it's not Christmas, don't worry about it, we fixed it, you know, has the Daleks. And that's what he did for, like, all three? That's Flux. All 3? Yeah, look, I'm sorry, Kaden, but these seasons are going to get a lot shorter. Yeah, all 3 New Year specials have the Daleks for the guy who, like, explicitly wanted to do new things. So it was kind of like, do you have to do the Daleks?
Yeah. All 3. Weird.
Well, I mean, it kind of makes sense because, like, you know, it's Doctor Who. You gotta have the Daleks. I'll put them in the specials. I that makes sense conceptually. Like, I'm on board with that. If he's like, hey, let's not put the Daleks as part of the main narrative, but like every Christmas, let's have the Daleks and just have a fun. I'm on board with that. Like, Christmas is Dalek fun times. It doesn't sound like it works, but you could. I don't know, I guess maybe you'd risk either your Christmas would be a real downer. You know, I'm looking at you, the Christmas invasion. Either your Christmas would be a real downer, or your Daleks would not be threatening at all. But, yeah. Don't worry, though. We bought Christmas specials back. Just look at... In fact, here, I'll even let the people see it. Let's go just remind you... Nope, let's remind you. Oh, here we go. Yeah, nope. This is how I sell Caden on the 15th Doctor. Yeah. Let's just watch. Oh, no, that's too early. There we go.
My Doctor needs moves.
In fact, bam. Let's let everyone hear. Oh, or not, because that's Google's output, not the computer. It's the 15th
Moves
Doctor sexily dancing in the club. And that's it. That's genuinely how I've sold Caden on the 15th Doctor.
Yeah, it was all I needed.
Let's just give you some sneak peek. Ooh, look at that baby monitor. That's a frame. There's
dance?
Ruby. She's real scared. There's just some lady. There's some goblins. She's a mystery. She's going to be important. We don't know what's up with her. There we go. Here's the Doctor for once.
There he is.
Look at good stuff. Oh, yeah, look. Things happen to her. She's in, like, a cast. Look at that man. When is new Doctor
High
Who?
fidelity Doctor is off-putting.
What, HD? HD Doctor? Yeah. You've been so used to...
It's a little off.
Is there an HD 9th Doctor? I don't know. I don't think there is. You're right, though. Look at this quality.
Yeah, it's weird.
Man. And you know what the weird thing is? I'm streaming this to you at 720p. You're not even seeing this in HD. I think the DVD of season 1 is 720. Like, it should be the same quality.
Oh, it feels
Oh, look at the lighting here. He's kind of blurry here.
too real.
But look, these 4 specials, right? Single-handedly overturned a belief I had that once you hit a certain level of like budget, which is around like 2010, what shows looked like then, the visuals start to overshadow the narrative, and this has to happen. Like, even if it's just a shot that you can just feel the director kind of lining up and being look how artsy this is, or if you're the extreme of like all spectacle, no substance.
Yeah.
Look at this. These 4 specials are all amazing. They look gorgeous, and there's not a single compromise to visuals with the story. It single-handedly overturned my belief that was a thing you had to happen. Like, it still absolutely does happen in every other case except those 4. But it's amazing.
It's good to see you.
Russell T. Davies, but yeah. No Doctor Who next week. We'll probably come back to 24 with Dalek for the mystery villain.
Mystery.
And then, when is Doctor Who? May is season 1/14/40. Look, fandom, let's just agree somewhere. It's going to be really hard to title. It's kind of fun, though, watching the fan base kind of argue. It's like, is it like most people are like, stupid Disney? It's season 14. There's no meaningful gap, which I disagree with. There's a very big narrative gap, but there's no meaningful gap. It's just a continuation. This is a dumb marketing thing. And some people are like, season 1, like they're calling it, let's just be consistent. And then there's like, back in my day, we were arguing season 27 versus 1. I refer to this as season 40 of Doctor Who.
I fight for that side.
I'm like, because that's my favorite part. Is it's kind of ridiculous. I understand. There's a big difference between season 26 and series 1. Like, there are so many reasons that those two are different with the 7th and 9th Doctors. The only difference between 13 and 14 is slightly bigger budget, which that's kind of constant. It's now being streamed on Disney. Then like we're not really dealing with Time War stuff. I'm fine. That Time War thing, it's a big enough narrative shift. Let's call it season 1. Honestly, it is kind of struggle when someone says like anything that's like season 8 and up. I have to think a bit and be like, okay, the 13th Doctor had season 13. I know, because 13. So I got to kind of count back and figure out like what season we're actually talking about. So I'm kind of on board to just say 1. I don't have to remember it's season 14. I can just say 1 for a little bit.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, cool. We got classics. We got Time War, angsty PTSD Doctor. And then we got like post-therapy boy. That's what we got. Yep, post-therapy boy. He had some therapy. That's a whole nother discussion. Just play 14, 15. Look, don't worry about it. As I said before the stream, this whole generation business is going to get a bit complicated. But you bowed out just kind of when things... Look, maybe that's good. I understand. That's the point. But the main moral of the lesson is I got to put something on the thumbnail, and I don't know what. We need to be into the season a little bit before I figure out how people are wording it.
Yeah.
The stupid tags. I'm going to have to fill in season 1, season 14, season 40. As I've said before, on my computer, it's classic, middle, and modern because it has to be alphabetical.
Yeah.
But,
one day, everyone will agree.
Well, I don't know about that, Caden. There are still some people who refuse to call... They go season 26, season 27. It's a very small minority, but I don't know if everyone's going to agree. I'd announced that again on like April Fools that season 2/15 is gonna be rebranded to season 1, just to like mess with people. Let's not even acknowledge or talk about the fact that the church on Ruby Road, the Christmas special, the 15th Doctor's introduction, and the companion is technically part of the previous era. And it's special. It's not Christmas special 2023 or 4 or whatever. It's special 4. Like, come on, Disney. I know they're hard to do, but if the whole point is to get people to come in and watch the show, like, what'll happen is people will see season 1. They'd be kind of interested. They might want to go see the introduction of that Doctor, see it special 4, go, maybe I should watch 1, 2, and 3, and then have a massive lore dump of what happened to all the companions and plot points after they stopped watching the show and be like, ugh. So, you know, I'm...
episodic naming system runs on a very rocky foundation.
I'm actually, here, I'm going to prove a point. Doctor Who Reddit, because I bet one of the top results is going to be like, I missed the specials because of Amazon. This happens a lot. It's very frequently on Reddit. This happened to me. I missed a lot of the specials because Amazon lists, they do this for every show, but they list every season separately. It's as if it was a whole nother show, right? So when you finish season 1, you don't just go to season 2. You like go. I think actually this might have changed. I think they might list Doctor Who as seasons, but when I'd watch it, you'd have to go to Doctor Who season 2 explicitly. But the specials aren't a part; they're their own thing. So you have to know there's a special and go watch it. Except the like 2 or 3 specials that are important, like David Tennant's First, or I think the one Matt Smith regenerates in. No, not that one, but like David Tennant's First in the Waters of Mars, or in David Tennant's last 2, where he regenerates. Where if you missed them, you would notice. Those are part of the season, which means there's no sign you've missed episodes until the 11th Doctor has almost regenerated, because his TARDIS changes between seasons. By chance, this is also just never mentioned in the Christmas special where the change happens. It's just different. So you'd have to explicitly be bothered enough to look it up, realize you did miss episodes, and then you have to binge 7 Christmas episodes across 2 Doctors. It's bizarre. It's kind of fun. It was fun for me to go, wait a minute, there's 3 new David Tennant episodes? That'll never happen again. Like, you know. But it's infuriating. Just list them in order. Like, it's the BBC is not gonna sue you if you call a Christmas special season 2. They're not. It's okay, Amazon.
This is needs to get put in line.
And it looks like Disney is doing the same, because special 1, 2, and 3 are their own things. They are under the category of like Doctor Who and Doctor Who 60th anniversary specials, so that's kind of fair. I imagine the actual show itself, because they really are their own thing, especially when they don't have any other episodes. Maybe when season 1 comes out, they'll move the Christmas special until season 1, because then it makes sense that it would be on its own when there isn't a season 1, and there won't be for a year. But calling it special 4, man, like, it really is. You don't need special 1, 2, and 3. The only reason it's 4 is like, by chance, it was a month after special 3. You know, it's... Yeah. Anyway, I hope you're ready for the crushing inevitability of the Daleks.
Ready. Figure out what this mysterious villain is. I
the
wonder.
Metaltron. It might be like the Quarks. You know, they're made of metal. I bet it's the Quarks. I want to show you. Doctor Who quarks from when they didn't have the rights to Doctor Who because they were trying to make spin-off movies, right? The guy who owns it. There are some Doctor Who movies. Dalek movies that have, like, the Doctor and stuff. But he's, like, a human. It's weird. But so they kept trying to recreate the Daleks with, like, the second Doctor by, like, generic alien things. And one of the most mocked ones, / beloved, are the quarks. Look at these fellas. You might not be able to tell, of course, but these are like people in basically little boxes, and they've got their arms, and so they wave their arms like back and forth. In fact, what episode is the quarks? The Dominators. What season is that? Oh, second Doctor. I own it. Doctor Who. Yeah, and people, by the way, just stare at the, like, instructions for the for the watch along as they do this. What season is the quarks? Season 6? The Dominators.
Heads.
Well, I want you to see how they move, because I think they're supposed to be. I think they might have, like, taken out a planet or something. They're, like, genocidal, whatever. They're basically Daleks, but, like, discount. Look at this little quark feller. Just walking along.
Reopen your stream.
Oh.
I'm looking at him on Google right now.
Here we go. Go live. I want to find a good... I bet they're in, like, the cliffhanger. Dude. I want him to, like, wave his little arms. Oh, yeah. There we go. Look at this fella.
Closed stream?
Can you not see it?
No, your stream was open again, and I think you closed the window.
Okay, hang on.
I know how these little fellas
Oh,
operate.
my goodness. I did close the window. Look at this little fella. Oh, this is a missing episode, apparently. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. That's just a still frame.
Oh, that guy's so cute.
Look at that fella. The next Daleks, everybody. I think
they're kind of cute.
This episode. Yeah, missing episodes. Don't worry. That was just a still frame. Don't.
I was worrying.
Don't worry about it. It's just, it happens sometimes, you know? You know, when you get your episodes of television, you just decide, you know what? Let's burn this. You know? It happens. We've all been there, you know? You know, when you ask for them back and those countries you sent the episodes to were like, hey, we got these episodes. We heard you're missing them. Here's like an entire season. And then you're working for the BBC and you're loading them from the truck and you're like, you know what? What if we just burn these instead? And then you go burn them. That happened.
Yeah.
Someone delivered like, I think, an entire season of Doctor Who, which includes like, I think it includes Marco Polo, the most sought after episode. And then the person unloading the truck was just like, I don't know, let's burn them. Like, gosh. It's missing episodes. Yeah. You ever watched an episode of Doctor Who that was actually a PowerPoint presentation? Because I have. You ever watched an episode of Doctor Who that's Yep, color. That I'm about to open the Web of Fear Part 3 for you at home. That looks like it was from a PlayStation. Oh my god, I forgot how bad this looked. This is how you remember Doctor Who, yeah?
I don't think you'll believe me, but your stream may have closed once again.
That is a shame, because the walk around the corner that this soldier did... I literally clicked on the perfect frame. But you ever seen an episode of Doctor Who that looks like this? Oh, come on. I think it's broken. Look at that. That turn. You ever seen an episode of Doctor Who that looked like that?
Like this.
You like this?
It's, you know.
You're the only one. Thankfully, that's the only episode that was missing. They found it, but somewhere between being put on the truck to the UK and arriving at the UK, it went missing again. Most of them are a lot better than that, but that one people don't really like.
That's, you know,
yeah,
to each their own.
But don't worry, after like this point, once they invent color, they stop burning their episodes.
Oh, I'm glad they figured out that was the way to go.
They did particularly though look at the second Doctor and go like, you know what? Screw that guy. We don't need any of those. I think there
are these ones.
How many? I think there's like 4. Because of course they're all like, especially in the 60s, they're all a whole bunch of parts. They're like 6 to 8 parts. And so if one of those parts are missing, your story is now incomplete. So here, oh yeah, season 3. Anything with this little cross is a missing episode. Season 3, they just decided, screw that season. There's 2 stories. Here's season 4. Those entire things are missing. You've got those 2 parts. There's not a single complete story in season 4. There's 1, 2. This one's really good, actually. This one was found, like, I think in 2012. So we have 2 stories. One of them was found, like, 10 years ago. 3, 4, 5, 6. The second Doctor has 6 stories that are not missing any parts.
Wow.
Thankfully, there are 3 stories that are missing and have not been animated. And you can listen to them. The audio we have, because of fans who just decided to set up mics in front of their televisions back in the 60s. Well done. But yeah, the second Doctor really, really got it bad. Which is a shame, because I wouldn't have minded if some of the first Doctor stories went missing, if I'm to be honest. Because second Doctor's good, but, you know, they threw away all-time classics that, like, everybody loves. This story, Marco Polo, is one of, like, people's favorites of the first Doctor's era, despite the fact that you can't even watch any of it. But over down here, oh, and that story is also quite visual. This one, The Web Planet, I call it the one where the ants scream at you. It's a story that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 parts. It's visually impressive for the time, but the entire story sounds like this. We'll get there. We'll get there. Trust me, the whole story. Trust me. Look, that person's getting hugged by an ant. Oh my god, we're ants making the noise. Make your noise. This isn't proving my point, ants.
You got 6 parts.
Yeah, I know. This story could probably be 2, but, you know, that's classic Who. There we go. Whole story sounds like this. Where the ants just beep at you constantly whenever they're on screen. What? No, look. It's the 60s. Be fair. I mean, I know it's a man in an ant suit, but that's very good. That's a very good ant suit. You know? They're big ants, right?
Very big.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if that was obvious, but the Doctor's not small. They're just big ants.
I hadn't noticed.
Yeah. Anyway, is a palette cleanser. Let's just go look at what season is Flatline. That's not Bill. Season 8. I'm looking for one called Flatline. That's not Bill. No, that's not Bill. Where's Flatline? Listen, Time Heist Caretaker. Kill the Moon. There's the one we were talking about. Moon's an egg. Oh yeah, there's that one. Let's just look at this frame from Flatline. Where, look at, now that's a good one.
What?
Yeah. Look at that.
What happened there?
Don't worry about it. The TARDIS is just, like, small. That's not the one I'm looking for. This is the picture of Peter Capaldi getting out of a TARDIS that's the size of, like, you know, here we go. For the people at home. Let's just turn off the blur again. See, Flatline's 12th Doctor's got some good stuff. That wasn't the frame I was looking for, though. I was looking for Here's a good one.
What?
Don't worry.
What
It's big.
is
It's bigger on the
happening?
inside, you know.
Substantially.
You know, when your house shrinks. Just dang it.
That is funny.
That's good. Let me turn the blur on again.
That'll be a good one.
Where is my that's a fun. A lot of people really like Flatline. I think it's fine for the most part. Like it's like a classic Doctor Who adventure pretty much. In a season that so you know how I was telling you that the 12th Doctor is where I often start to skip episodes. Well, it's where I start skipping episodes.
Yeah.
That one's got a lot of good lines. I need to watch it again because it's got a lot of good lines. It's got just as many awful bits. Into the Dalek, that one's fine. Robot, actually, that one's good. Listen, that one is a love or hate. I don't really like it. Time Heist. Here's the episode where the Doctor. Oh, wait, no, it's not. Sorry, I forgot. Caretaker's the one where like the main cast is toxic for each other for like an hour.
Oh, yeah.
Here's Kill the Moon. More money on the Orient Express. Here's the episode where the 12th Doctor randomly just stops being a massive a-hole. Force of the Night. Here's two that are kind of accidentally about, like, kids don't take your pills. They're not great. Do I even watch Death in Heaven? I don't remember. That's a better hit rate than I remember. But also, for a lot of these, the Doctor's not great. I remember the first time I hated, like, I think everything but the Robin Hood one. Because the Doctor just wasn't Doctor. Up until Kill the Moon, where I gave up on the series. Then decided to watch one more, because I went from, like, 1 to 12, and suddenly all the problems with the 12th Doctor were gone. It's a much more gradual change on my second watch through. Season 9. That's good. Magician's Apprentice, Magician's Familiar. Oh yeah, this is the season they decided let's do two-parters. Whoops. Two-parter. Oh yeah, every time I look at this season, I'm like, wow, this one's good. Why don't I like it? And then I get to this two-parter where they introduce the arc of the season, that's the hybrid. I'm like, oh yeah, it's just kind of in the way. They get the girl from Game of Thrones to play a character, and no one really likes it. Here's just a frame from a different season entirely. Oh yeah, here's the one, the Zygon inversion with a speech about war that everyone loves and I hate. That's a hot take right there. That's honestly, I don't like the Zygon war speech from Zygon inversion, and that is probably the hottest take of any media I ever have. And I say that is like a huge pacifist. It's a huge anti-war speech that I think is incredibly naive, ignores like a reality of war also the Doctor just clearly doesn't believe it to be true. And he knows this. I don't like it. It's bad. Huh. But anyway, this is a great one. Look, it's got River Song in the title.
Oh, River Song.
Yeah, it's the best River Song one. And here we go, Heaven Sent. Here is the best episode of Doctor Who ever made. It comes after a meh episode where the companion that no one really likes dies, and it comes before an episode that's generally regarded as bad to mediocre. But this one, part 2 of the 3-part, is is Doctor Who episode ever made. And you gave up way back here in Asylum of the Daleks. You never got to saw it. Look at you missed out on Dinosaurs on a Spaceship. Just look at that name.
Really?
Spoilers.
Remember an episode where dinosaurs were on a spaceship.
Hang on, let's flick through. Did you? I thought you said you didn't remember it because I brought it up.
I can specifically see like a frame.
It's got like Rory and his dad.
No, I think I definitely saw this.
You saw this one?
I think I did.
Okay. Did you see the Western one where there's like a cyborg cowboy?
This rings 0 bells.
I want to get the cyborg cowboy. Where's the cyborg cowboy? Whoops. Where's the cyborg cowboy? There we go. There's like a cyborg cowboy.
Okay. I don't think I saw this one.
Look, Dinosaurs on a Spaceship isn't great, But it's not like I'm gonna give up on the show bad. I want to see. There's a scene where they're like riding a triceratops, but dinosaur CGI is expensive. There's some dinosaurs. I'm just gonna Google it because it's probably like the first image result. Doctor Who dinosaurs on a spaceship. It's pretty Chris Chibnall, actually.
Yeah, I recognize that. Up at if you scroll up the top right.
There's what I'm looking for, where they're riding a triceratops.
I do think I saw this one. I think I saw this one.
Yeah. So that's the dinosaurs on the spaceship. It's an episode that made you give up. It's kind of funny that you gave up on Doctor Who because of a Chris Chibnall episode, who did the 13th Doctor era. Chibnall bad is a very common viewpoint. But in fairness, dinosaurs on a spaceship is fine. It says the pitch is right. Dinosaurs on a spaceship. That's cool.
Yeah.
That's the episode. There are dinosaurs and they're on a spaceship. So it's fine. It's like, yeah, dinosaurs on a spaceship. Shout out to this Invasion of the Dinosaurs photo, by the way. This is a Doctor Who episode.
Oh,
Doctor Who Invasion of the Dinosaurs. I love this picture. Lovingly restored. Of a poorly green screen like Godzilla. It's about an invasion of the... Oh my gosh, look at the remastered though. No.
Less loving.
Nobody, if you're watching the Invasion of the Dinosaurs with modern CGI dinosaurs, you're doing it wrong. You need these sock puppets like it's a classic Godzilla.
No, I agree.
This is the appropriate way. No, look at this CGI. You need a bunch of sock puppets banging on each other. It's a third Doctor episode where, yes, dinosaurs invade. I think there's like time travel stuff going on.
Right.
But it's realized the same way that like the original Godzillas were realized, where it's a guy in a dinosaur suit around like a miniature town.
I love it.
And they do some green screen to get like tiny people in front of the dinosaurs. I don't think I own this one. I don't think it's out on Blu-ray. If I own Invasion of the Dinosaurs, I might have to just go watch it. I don't. No, because that's fourth Doctor. And it's glorious. Yeah, I don't own it because Doctor Who did not have the budget. Here's the big one to do a story about dinosaurs invading, but by God, they did it anyway.
I love it.
And you might think, you know, like the one I just showed you, where there aren't a lot of dinosaurs because it's CGI and that's expensive. So they're mostly kind of like implied, or they're not where the dinosaurs are.
Yeah.
No. In this story, there be dinosaurs like everywhere. It's look at this Stegosaurus just sitting outside. Look at the weird face it's making. And yeah, apparently you could watch this with like modern CGI episodes, and usually I don't have a strong stance on this, you know? Do you watch the remastered or not? I watch remastered Star Trek, you know? I do. I get it. Sometimes, you know, some of these, but if you're watching remastered Invasion of the Dinosaurs, you're doing it wrong. You just are. Because it's bad.
Totally sucked. What a mean article title.
Oh my gosh, wow. I mean, look.
It's got charm.
They sucked. They sucked. No, this is not. Okay, no. You know what? I'm gonna show you. Okay. Doctor Who. I'm gonna have to try and get this. Whoops. Auton doll. I've mentioned this scene to you. It's one of two Auton stories. Troll doll. Terror of the Autons. Cool. There's this green screen this basically, if I've told before, like Doctor Who invented the green screen. So way down here in season 8, we've got Terror of the Autons. Ooh, which part? Which part? Search for troll. Troll doll. There's got to be a synopsis. I know you can't see the wiki, but I don't want you to see any pictures of this beforehand. I want you to go in and experience the glory of the Terror of the Autons troll doll. So it's the Autons, you know, like we had it at the first episode, the Ninth Doctor, episode 2, right? And I'm gonna find it off screen because I don't know where in the story this is. Huh. Oh, there we go. It caught up. I think this is also the episode where someone gets murdered by a plastic inflatable chair. Oh, actually, yeah. You know what? I'll just show you that because that scene's happening right now. Is this guy sat down in the chair, right? There's the context. And he gets eaten by a chair. He's dead now. There's no context. The master just told him to sit down in a chair, and so he did. I also seem to have closed my YouTube stream thing at some point. I just assume we're live. We could do this not live, but we could also just do this live. And like, I don't know who's watching it, but like maybe someone will. Okay, it's really struggling to like load this episode for some reason. Oh, this looks promising. He's put the doll in the back of the car. It's got to be near the end. Oh, yes. Right. So context, okay? Context. I want to show you what this looks like not green screen first. So there's this little troll doll, right? It's real ugly. The master, this guy, has given this guy this horrible troll doll thing. And, you know, it's a plastic troll doll, right? It looks like a horrible plastic thing. It's about yay big, right? There's the context. Don't worry about this probably racist man on screen right now. I might have gone a little too early. It's this. I rewound a bit, so it's got to be the scene after this. I think I'm a little early. Okay, no, I'm early. There's Joe. And so suddenly, like without warning, you know, without warning, they just do this in the episode. They drop this on you. Wow, how did I get so far off? It's just taking really long to update the frames when I change the episode. Yeah, that's the right hard drive. Why are you struggling? Where is he? Oh my gosh. I don't know why I'm so far off. I saw him, and he's just disappeared. There's an Auton. Oh, no, here it is. Okay, we found it. And now it's broken. Come on. Okay, this guy's brought it home. You see clips of what I'm about to show you at other points, but this guy's brought the troll doll home. Oh no, come on. Update. Update!
On the edge of my seat.
It's worth it, trust me. Okay, here we go. And then suddenly we cut to scenes like this. Right? This is actually pretty good, what I'm showing you right now. This is pretty good. It's clearly a guy in like some rubber suit, but the troll doll's got up. He's now running across the floor in a totally different scale. He's now killing this guy. It's just the scale is wrong. It's no, and look, now he's running away in a totally different scale. It's glorious. And there's a bit where, like, in the car, it just randomly cuts to, like, the troll and the guy below. It's glorious. I was trying to find this scene where, like, he's just clearly, you can almost see in this one where he ran across the floor where the cameras are rolling and the director's like, action! And then he just randomly starts running from a dead stop. Oh my god, you could buy this thing?
Oh.
Why? Why? Why would you buy this? This is worse than, like, the Crispy Master I was showing you. There we go. You could buy your very own Doctor Who troll doll from Terror of the Autons. Oh my god, look at this poor, depressed guy.
Oh my gosh.
From the Ancient One, from the Curse of Fenric. He doesn't really look that depressed in the show. I don't even know what this one is. Someone's glued, like, a picture. I'm just gonna show this one to the stream because how would you describe this image we're looking at?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on here. I think those might be modern Star Trek guns? Maybe? I don't know. What does it say we're looking at? Men Black action figures. Action figure movie toys. Smith action figure. Oh, so I guess it's Men in Black? Probably?
This clears everything up.
Yeah, it clears everything up. I remember that scene from... then you just got this dead guy, like, just taking a nap. His hand's falling off. Don't worry about it. Classic Doctor Who, man. It's a journey. You know, I bet... You know, I've sold you on the 15th Doctor with that.
Yeah.
That one scene. When I get Invasion of the Dinosaurs, I just need to have you over, and we can watch Invasion of the Dinosaurs, and that's gonna sell you on classic Doctor Who. It's just
It'd get me.
We sure. I hope I don't. Well, they won't release it. I'll have to find it online because they won't release a collection before you move, and I'll have to get you over to watch the classic Doctor Who story, Invasion of the Dinosaurs. I think it's actually, if I remember, it's a plot significant episode.
Yeah.
I think there's like a major revelation about one of the main cast actually in Invasion of the Dinosaurs.
That's I love that so much.
So you can't even skip it. But yeah, if you're watching Invasion of the Dinosaurs with modern CGI, which I've just realized they'll remaster it with that, you're doing it wrong. Yeah. It's not supposed to be good. It's supposed to be done. And as someone who genuinely doesn't really care, like between the remastered, the classics, I'll often take remastered. I think I generally take, if it was a practical effect, I like the original. But if it was originally CGI, the new CGI is often better. I prefer it. Because the remastered for Doctor Who especially usually isn't even like great effects. And I'll take bad practical over bad CGI any day. Because you said like bad CGI or like bad practical effects does kind of have its charm. Yeah. But bad CGI doesn't really have charm.
Yeah. Just gross.
But you're just doing it wrong with that one particular story, and maybe like that Auton one with the bad green screen. If you get rid of Invasion of the it's just the whole episode. Like, could you imagine watching the original Godzilla, but that instead of seeing the guy in the suit, there's just brand new CGI for like half the movie? It's just not the same movie. You're doing it wrong. It's just not right. You know? It's not right. Some things in this world, man, they're just not right. And let me tell you, that's one of them. Anyway, am I still live? Because God knows what happened to the YouTube studio. I've never deleted that before during a live stream. That just shows how little I'm in it. But this was all bonus content. You know what? It's going to make it a massive pain to a massive pain to shorten it. I don't know. I got an error. YouTube's not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. I don't even know. Maybe we weren't live. But like OBS was streaming. But the live, it does say, because it took a while to load, it does say we've been live for like, ooh, it almost looks like there's actually an extra hour of content. Was I live before? Because it almost looks like there's an hour of... It says YouTube loaded me at an hour 52 out of 3 hours. And so I don't know if that means there's like an hour of the stream that, as far as people are concerned, didn't happen.
Huh.
No, it looks like they got at least some chat. I don't know. I'll check that. But that was mostly just chat for us. And I'm like, I don't know. Let's just stay live. Well, we'll probably wrap it up there then. We could always stay and chat after, but we'll wrap it up. Is there something you want, Alex?
Oh, I'm looking for the pellets.
They're in the back of my car still.
Alright, thank you.
That's right, it's March, and my wife's still burning stuff in the fireplace. We're gonna get, like, a truckload. We're gonna get someone to deliver, like, literally a ton of pallets, and they're gonna use a forklift, and we're just gonna, like, have that. You can get, like, a whole truckload of 10 tons of pallets, which is, like, 10 shipping pallets of, but that's, like, $2,000. And we'd use it over the course of, like, our lives. But, I just kind of like the image of our neighbors watching this literal semi unload shipping pallets off a forklift and just, like, taking it to the house. But, yeah. Anyways, I said we will wrap things up. I will check if you actually got any of that, like, content, that garbage trash tier content that would kill the retention time. We've streamed for 2 hours on 45 minutes of stream. So I don't know why my YouTube thinks there's 3 hours. I've only been streaming for 2. YouTube's invented an hour of content here somewhere, but anyways, I will say thank you all very much for watching.